Hey, good afternoon, all of you. I hope I'm audible to all. Please confirm. Take care. Please confirm. Am I audible? Only Ishika has answered. I think I'm not audible for the rest of you. Just please confirm once. Okay, great. All right. So all of you know, yesterday, last day, we completed the concept of books of accounts, section 128, and we also try to learn the various impact of that, isn't it? Today we are going to one step ahead of that. One step ahead of that, and that is appointment of auditor. Appointment of auditor in the various companies. And how this chapter goes. This is one of my favorite chapters, and all the students who have attended yesterday's class, they know that in the question paper of December 21, auditing chapter had a major portion. Did you observe that? There were a lot of questions belong to auditing chapter for 2 marks, for 3 marks, for 6 marks, for 5 marks, and that is happening in all the attempts, almost all the attempts. All right. So in today's class, let's continue with that. Okay. Just a second. Hold on. Let me open that. Just I want to confirm. Have you received membership material? The second chapter material. All of you have received it. Okay. Just want to get your feedback. Do you find it comfortable? Because made, I have actually restructured the entire material which was not available in the last time. If you are a student, if you're a reader of the contents, what do you think about it? Any suggestions you want to just tell me? You are most welcome. The tabular form is comfortable for everyone. Hello? Content, points, tables, attempt wise. Now, one of the students suggested me that, sir, you should put the answers. Question is there, content is there, below that you should put answers as well. So question answer so that student can learn that how to write an exam. So I don't have any problem in doing that, but the biggest limitation of that idea is the material will become very bulky, and psychologically the students will not get motivated. Okay, okay, yaar, I should learn this. It will not happen, and just because of that, I have decided not to go for that. Just because of that. So what is my plan is this is just the materials, questions, question answer. I want to prepare the separate separate notes. All the questions and answer, RTPs, and everything separately. I want to do. Okay. So you will get the two material. The first one is the material, the content. Second is the question answer. Question answer is how to write an exam. So whatever you have learned, how to write an exam. So total two booklets you will get. Second booklet question answer, I know you will love to have that because that is the psychology of all the students are wo de do baki sab jaane do. But that I will do after completion of this syllabus, not before that. Okay. All right, are we good to go now? I think we can start this. Fine. So guys, here we have section 139. The content, this is what we are going to learn with that. This is what we are going to learn with that. All right. Please confirm, is it visible to all of you? Hmm? All right. What is section 139, guys? Section 139. I still remember the day when the first time in the newspaper it was introduced that section 139 is introduced. Entire chartered accountant community was very much shocked. Anyone knows what was the reason of shock? Actually, what it contains, section 139, what it contains so that it was a matter of shock for everyone. Huh? Let me tell you. There were a lot of chartered accountants who were in the practice and they were doing the audit of one company since last 20 years, 25 years. And suddenly under section 139, subsection 2, there was a provision that now one chartered accountant cannot continue as auditor of a company for more than 5 years, one term of more than 5 years. Wasn't it shocking thing? Now let me tell you what was the other shocking thing. If I continue for the 5 years, what if I want to recontinue? It's not allowed. And if I want to continue, the law had a provision stating that, let's say Mr. Chirag Akhani today is the auditor of TCS Limited, and I have completed successfully. I have completed my 5 years. I have completed 5 years. So law says now if you want to do the audit of same company TCS Limited, you need the break of continuous 5 years. Look at this word, continuous 5 years. Continuous 5 years you need break for that company. And after once that break is completed, it is called the vacation. When that vacation for that company, when that vacation for that company gets over, then and only then, you can rejoin this. So guys, it is the break period of 5 years. Now, anyone can tell me the logic behind this? Why the government of India made this decision that first of all, if you're working for 5 years as an individual, then you compulsorily you have to take the break of 5 years, and after that you may rejoin. Again, you can work for 5 years. Again, there's a 5 years vacation. But if you are a firm, for the firm, what law says that for this there are two terms of 5 years each. Look at the words what are written here. Two terms of 5 years each. So for the firm, maximum how many years are there? So 2 into 5, it comes to 10 years. So one firm can continue for the 10 years in one company. And the moment when that 10 years got over, again, it has to go for 5 years vacation. And this word is put down continuous 5 years. It's not like 1 year worked, 1 year break, 1 year worked, 1 year break. It will not happen. If it is not continuous 5 years, it will not be considered as vacation at all. It is about continuous 5 years. It is about continuous 5 years. Now, wasn't it shock for all the chartered accountants? Just assume that those chartered accountants who are holding the monopoly of certain companies since last many years, suddenly they have to quit from them. Now, what is the reason behind it? Okay, you tell me, if you're staying with your friend, let's say right now you came to Bangalore for study purpose, you don't know anyone, but you're sharing the hostel and you are staying in the hostel since last 6 years, not only after your graduation, but after your masters, even after joining your corporates, you are staying in the same hostel. So don't you think now friendship will be developed? And friendship is one of the influencing factor, if I'm not wrong, isn't it? It can influence the decision of others. It will not let you to work independently. So in during that friendship, if your friend says, brother, please do this work, now we never says no. We never say no. We actually do that. So if any auditor is working for the 20 years, 25 years, the bond would be so unique that later on it will create the conflict of interest, professional conflict of interest. Why? Now, if auditor wants to detect the fraud and he company requests, Chirag sir, 25 years, sir, please, this time, sir, leave it. Don't you think that thing will affect the independency of chartered accountant who is there for auditing? What do you think about it? Don't you think that it will affect the independency of the auditor? Just to restrict, just to prevent that bond between the client and the auditor, they have come up with section 139, subsection 2. That is the main reason over here. Oh my God. And the way they have come up with, I still remember PwC. Actually, PwC is not a firm. It is what I guess a consultative brand. You see, PwC is just not only working in India. It is there outside India as well. It is a global consulting firm. You know that? It is a global consulting firm. It is a global consulting firm. So what PwC and other people have started to do, look, they have a lot of money. And if you have a lot of money, you can do a lot of things with that. Just not spending it. You can develop a lot of business ideas just like Mr. Elon Musk. The moment when he started to get the money, look at the ideas. His car. He's planning to build residential houses at Mars. He wants to die there. He wants to die there. That is happening just because of money. Paisa hai to sab kuch more. If money is not there, it will not happen. Are you getting me? So PwC had a lot of money. So what they have done is they started to make a partnership with a lot of they started to hire a lot of partnership firms which had been already established. So guys, under the franchisee of PwC, they hired a lot of partnership firm. Partnership firm number one, partnership firm number two, partnership number three. They have hired a lot of partnerships, a lot of partnerships under them. Now this provision affected a lot to these big giants. Why? You won't believe these people had a lot of companies. I know that many of you, after completing this CA inter courses, you may join PwC, Deloitte, or any of the things. What happened is, law says that partnership one, let's say one partnership firm can continuously work for 10 years. 10 years is actually not the correct answer. It is the two terms of 5 years each. So the procedure of appointment of the auditor, what you have performed at the beginning, once the first term is completed, again you have to perform for the next 5 years. So in CA Inter, there can be the question that can a firm be appointed as an auditor for continuous 10 years? No. First of all, it will be appointed for the 5 years. And again, after completion of that, again he may be appointed as for the next 5 years. Continuously 10 years is not written in the law, it is not allowed in the law. Hey guys, are you getting me? What am I trying to say now? Come on. So in case if there's a question in your CA Inter that one company wants to appoint one firm for the continuously 10 years, is it allowed or not allowed? Answer is no, it's not allowed. Prohibition under section 139. Why you allowed me? Take it? So what PwC thought? PwC thought, okay, fine, if it is partnership one, 10 years got over, so let's shift the audit to on the partnership firm. Because under PwC, there are a lot of partners. There are a lot of partnership firms. But 139 is so strictly drafted that it has written that if two or more firms are under the same control, all right, two or more firms are under the same control, or they are network firms. Network firms, they all are working under the common name. PwC, there are a lot of firms. They all are in the one network under the common control. Then all firms are disqualified, and they can join only after 5 years of vacation. So now in the market, what is happening now? They're starting trading of their audits. Let's say I will share my audit on the CA for the 5 years. He will share his audit to me for the on the 5 years. And this is how the things are happening. But this will not apply to all the companies, right? This will not apply to all the companies. So there are some class of companies. There are some class of companies. All right. Are you people able to get this? What am I trying to say? Hello? It will not apply to all the companies. All right. Excuse me just a second. So section 139 is too horribly drafted. I don't have words to speak about it. बहुत ही भयानक तरीके से लिखी हुई है. It has made the provisions very strict, very strict provisions for the appointment and all that. Now, let me talk a lot about the appointments because section 139 majorly focuses on the appointment. Can you see this? Look at this. All the contents of the section 139 here. Appointment of first auditor and appointment of the subsequent auditor. Now, let's understand. Okay. Third is appointment of auditor during casual vacancy. So before you even try to touch section 139, I think you should have a basic idea that, brother, what is this 139? What is the first auditor? What is the subsequent auditor? What is the auditor in casual vacancy? Okay, anyone wants to try about this? First auditor, subsequent auditor, or the casual vacancy? No idea. Okay, let me tell you. What law says that the moment when company is incorporated within 30 days, auditor must have to be appointed because company cannot leave without auditor. Auditor and company they are going parallelly, just like the company cannot be there without members. So law says within just 30 days of your incorporation, you should have to appoint the auditor. How the auditor will be appointed? That part I will tell you later on. Alright. So that auditor which needs to be appointed just within 30 days of the company's incorporation, that is known as the first auditor in this section called section 139. Alright, are you clear with this? Hello? What is subsequent auditor then? So subsequent auditor means the auditor which is appointed subsequent, like later on after appointing the first auditor. Now there are a lot of questions in the first auditor. Okay, even if you look at this topic, first auditor and the subsequent auditor means auditor appointed other than first auditor. That means after this, first auditor appointed, he completed his tenure. So from the second auditor onwards, all the auditors will be considered as subsequent auditor. Are you clear to this? After appointment of first auditor, all the subsequent auditors are coming under the second category. Now, obviously, government companies rules are different. Other than government companies rules are different. But what kind of questions we can expect in the first auditor if it is other than companies? Look, first question is whether he will be appointed by board or he will be appointed by shareholders. If the power is given to the board, what if board could not appoint first auditor within the given time? So all those small questions, little questions, we have to go with. We have to go. Now, all right. Are you people clear with this? Hello? All right. What is consent certificate from the auditor? Now, look, right now I'm explaining the concept, the background. What are the exactly provisions that I will tell you from that provisions? Consent and certificate from the auditor. Sometimes there can be the question for the 5 marks that explain about the certificate to be provided by auditor to the company. You see, what if guys I'm disqualified? How would company know? Company comes to me and says, Mr. Chirag, you are doing good. We want to appoint you as our company's auditor. I said, okay, fine. But he doesn't know that my COP means Certificate of Practice, has already been suspended by ICI for the 6 months, and I cannot accept any audit assignments as of now. But company doesn't know this. So don't you think auditor should give certain assurance about his qualification, about his eligibility, about whether he's qualified or disqualified, about whether he can accept the audit or not? What do you mean by he can accept the audit or not? Do you know, guys, in the entire career, in one financial year, one auditor can audit only 20 companies. Only 20 companies assignment auditor can sign, not more than 20. Actually, we have the detailed discussion. One auditor can sign how many balance sheets in a year? Answer it. Only 20. Even out of those 20, 10 public limited can be maximum 10 whose public limited company cannot go more than 10. So understand that I have to certify. How would company know that how many companies I have already held and I'm signing for that? So that things will be given in the form of certificate. Okay, and then company will intimate to ROC stating that we have hired chartered accountant. And the form what we need to file is ADT1. ADT1. All right. Okay. Term of the auditor, I told you if he is the individual auditor, at one appointment, he can be appointed for how many years maximum? One term of 5 years. If it is a firm, then if it is a firm, then two consecutive terms of 5 years each. What is cooling period? Cooling period means vacation. Trust me, the name is very funny, cooling period. That means if any auditor is working for continuously 5 years, he becomes so hot that he needs another 5 years to get cool and then again he can join the company. So it's a very funny concept, isn't it? But by the way, cooling period means here vacation, break. Mandatory break you must have to take whether you want, whether you don't want. Got it? Now, next point is what is this network form that I told you about? Common partners, we have detailed explanation on that. I'll come on that part later. Then, what is casual vacancy here? This is very interesting part. Casual vacancy. Okay, Meenakshi is out. During cooling period, can the auditor work in another company? Yes, of course, but it is this prohibition is only for that company in which he has completed 5 years. It's not about others. It's not the lifetime ban. It is not like that he cannot work in any other company. He can just not work in the same company in which he has recently completed 5 years. If ban is on for all the companies, trust me, Meenakshi, will you be interested in doing chartered accountancy if you want to set up your own practice? I don't think so. That I don't think so about it. Got the point? Okay. Now, what is casual vacancy? Anyone can tell me about what is casual vacancy? Anything you know about it? Casual vacancy means what? What do you mean by casual vacancy? Temporary empty. Sonia, you're close to the answer. Let me tell you that the casual means all of a sudden there is vacancy. For example, auditor dies, auditor resigns, auditor attracted with the disqualification as provided under section 141. We are yet to come on that. So suddenly, what if there is the casual vacancy? Then how it will be filled? Look, in most of the point, other than government company, there are 2 points you need to remember. Whether it is the power of board of directors or it is the power of shareholders. The entire game is in between that. All right. After then, audit committee and the role of audit committee in selection of the auditor. Section 177 make it compulsory that if you follow certain criteria, you must have to have the auditing committee. You must have to constitute that, whether you want, whether you don't. You must have to constitute that. And guys, you tell me, if audit committee is there, then who should hire? Who should recommend the auditors? Board of directors will recommend or audit committee should recommend? So answer would be it's quite common now. Audit committee should recommend because audit committee, which is compulsorily created under the law by following and complying section 177. This is not for decoration. You could decoration के लिए थोड़ी है. So it is not for the decoration. Got the point? It is not for the decoration. So audit committee will select the auditor, and on that selection basis, auditor will be appointed. Otherwise, he will not be appointed. Okay. In this question, when auditor is ineligible for the reappointment, that I will tell you. But while I go with the section 139 reading. So before I go with that, all of you are comfortable with section 139? Hello? Like background, what you are going to learn and how the concepts, particularly the concepts. Okay? Now psychologically you try to understand the teaching method. I could start directly the provision. I could start that act and I could start, I could tell you start by reading this much of पढ़ना शुरू करो. But this discussion of 15 minutes will give you the idea about the structure of section 139. So section 139 subsection 1 and 39 subsection 2, these two are most important provisions. And if you take any question, any attempt, questions are always asked out of these two sections. Out of these two sections. Okay? So can you start now? Detailed contents and the provisions of section 139, what it tries to say, along with the rules. हमें rules भी पढ़ना पड़ेगा. ठीक? Can you see this? किधर गया भाई? Look at the content. Total 11 subsections are there. 11 subsections are there. Total. Alright? Let's read with this. Subject to provisions of this chapter, every company shall, at the first AGM. Now, before I go with that, let's understand what is first AGM. Did you observe? The term first is repeatedly getting used in the company law. First auditor, first annual general meeting, first director. It is just like pehla pyar. A lot of things are happening for the first time in the life and we are so much excited. And without excitement, actually the life is not there. So what is the concept of first AGM? Understand, if you read the section 96, there is a provision that first annual general meeting of the company should be conducted within what time? Officially. By the way, that's the point we are going to learn in the general meeting chapter. But first AGM would mean here, just I want to confirm one thing, students. You tell me that just for sake of knowledge, I want to see because it is the first time. Can you see this Google presentation? Type the word yes or no. Okay. Second is, can you see this my picture in the middle of that? Oh, it is there, left hand side. The reason is because I have the two different screens now. यहाँ पे कुछ और चल रहा है, यहाँ पे कुछ और चल रहा है. इधर ये Excel है, इधर ये. This part is the act. ठीक है? All right. So what is written over here? First AGM, the concept is clear. First AGM is law says that once you are incorporated, within certain time you must have to conduct your first annual general meeting. What are those days? Questions. Actually, they are asking an exam, but that I will do in general meeting chapter. Appoint an individual or a firm as an auditor. Hey guys, this is very interesting here. Appoint an individual or a firm as an auditor. So that's a very good question. The question is, a company has appointed Shruti, a company secretary who is a CS in practice, to complete the audit of the company. So is this appointment valid or not? Is this appointment valid or not? श्रुति को यहाँ पे अपॉइंट कर दिया. So is this appointment valid or not? Huh? Technically speaking, guys, this is not valid. Why? But here it is written that individual or any firm can be appointed as auditor. It is not written only chartered accountants. It is not written only company secretary. It is not written there can be any business firm as well. Guys, answer of this question is actually answered in section number 141, eligibility. Let me show you that. If you click on section 141, it is written that a person shall be eligible for appointment as an auditor of a company only if he is a chartered accountant. भाई अपन की बात हो रही है. Are you getting? Only if he is a chartered accountant. If he is not a chartered accountant, then forget Ray. He cannot be appointed. So there are a lot of students because interpretation is very important while reading the provision. So if you just simply go with the literal interpretation, and if you read this line that appoint an individual or firm as an auditor, under section 139 subsection 1, it is not a referred that he should be only chartered accountant, but that is crossly referred under section 141. So now guys, can you understand the relation between 139 subsection 1 and 141? I think that relation is clear. Okay? So appoint an individual or a firm, an auditor who shall hold office from the conclusion of that meeting till the conclusion of the 6th AGM, and thereafter till the conclusion of every 6th meeting, in the manner and a procedure of selection of auditor by the members of the company as may be prescribed. As may be prescribed. What this subsection is trying to say, you see, Government of India has a clear vision. What government wants is auditor is the integral part of a company. Actually, he's just like a James Bond of company. He's actually there to detect, to observe the fraud and errors made in the company's books of accounts. Am I right? He's actually hired there just like a watchdog. Just like a watchdog. He can just observe that everything is happening as per the rules or not. He's the company auditor. But he wants this engagement fixed. That's why they have said the block of 5 years. Can you imagine? Can you see here that conclusion of that meeting till the conclusion of the 6th meeting? So totally, how many years are referred by the company law here? 5 years. 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5, and 4 to 6. So auditor must have to work for continuously 5 years for that company. So what am I trying to say today? Today, if company wants to appoint an auditor only for 1 year or only for 2 years, is it possible or not? That is the first question of your 139 subsection 1. So write up guys over here. Can company appoint auditor for 2 years? So if you look at the wordings of as written over here, section 139 subsection 1, it's clearly written that in first AGM, auditors shall be appointed for the 5 years. Conclusion from that AGM till the conclusion of sixth AGM. So there is no any freedom is given. Okay, another word I want to tell you. What is written? Is it the word shall or may? Is it the word shall or may? That also we have to understand. Is it the word shall or may? Shall. So is it compulsion or it is optional? If instead of the word shall, if it was may, the company may appoint from this AGM to sixth AGM, then you could have gone for 2 years, 3 years. But it is clearly written, company shall have to go for that. So this language is very important. Shall लिखा है तो करना ही पड़ेगा whether you want or whether you do not want. Shall लिखा है. ठीक है? So guys, it is compulsory for the 5 years, right now. It is mandatory to appoint from conclusion of first AGM to conclusion of sixth AGM. Hence, company cannot do that. Company can't. Company can't. All right. So, guys, is the point clear here? Section 139, subsection 1. Is it applicable only for the first auditor or it is for subsequent? This is applicable only for subsequent because first auditor वाला part I will tell you later on. यहाँ पे लिखा है first AGM. To tell you first AGM will happen immediately next day after incorporation or it may take time. Obviously, it may take time. So this provision is only for subsequent auditor. It is not for the first auditor. Okay, let me reveal the secret here. First auditor shall be appointed just within 30 days of incorporation by the directors, board of directors. And he will hold the office only till next AGM. He will hold the office only till next annual general meeting. Are you getting me? So in that AGM, first auditor will be retired and in place of him, new person will be appointed. So actually tenure of first auditor is sometimes less than 12 months because from the date of incorporation to AGM, that's all. And AGM in which he is retiring, in the same AGM, another person must have to be appointed for upcoming 5 years. That means from the conclusion of first AGM till the conclusion of sixth AGM. So concept of first auditor, that is different. I will tell, but that's different. I hope it's clear, Meenakshi. Is it clear? On. अरे यार कहाँ गए सब लोग? Maybe Meenakshi has not understood yet. But if you could not understand, you can type no. In short, you understand this provision is for only subsequent auditor. First auditor, we will take care in the other section. Okay, which section we want to go with that, and let me tell you here. Can you just look at this part? Wait. Look at this first auditor of a company. So 139 subsection 6 is talking about the first auditor. And what is the provision for that? I will tell you later on this. Okay. So this is 139 subsection 1. Okay. Now, as may be prescribed, many students are very happy when they see that, okay, just one paragraph section is over. But guys, we should not ignore this as may be prescribed. And whenever this as may be prescribed part is there, this means that this is what? These are what rules. रूल्स पढ़ने या नहीं पढ़ने भाई? रूल्स पढ़ने हैं? पढ़ते हैं, ठीक है? Click on that. So guys, all these are the rules over here. So before I go with section 177, I want to give you the chart. तो एक काम करते हो guys, entire इस rules का 139 subsection 1 appointment of auditor, section 139 subsection 1, it is attached with the rule 1 of appointment of auditor rules 2014. So it's not rule 1, it's a rule 3. Can you see this rule 3? Rule 3 of the company's audit and auditors rules 2014. Excuse me, just a second. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, now is it fine? Can you hear me? Okay, so section 139, subsection 1, and the rules, they are there. Now, guys, let's understand. Entire chart I want to give, and this chart will make you to understand this entire rules. And exam will पूछा जा सकता है. Right on? It is the procedure to appoint auditor. All right, procedure to appoint auditor. So technically, there are two types of the companies. Right on. Two types of companies. Type number one, company needs to constitute audit committee. A company doesn't need as a record when it doesn't measure. Company no need to constitute audit committee, and the second is company needs to constitute audit committee? Because answer in that entire question would be altogether different. All right. Company needs to constitute and company doesn't need to constitute. All right. After that, if company don't need to constitute audit committee, now it is not a voluntary action. Let me show you that. If you come to this and if you simply type section 177 here, look, what is the rule? What is 177 here? Can you see this? 177 here, can you see this? Are you able to? So 177, what is written over here, that's about the audit committee. You click on this. So it is written that every listed public company and other class of companies. Now, what is the other class of companies? So look at over here. Under the rule 4, what's the rule 4 written over here? Okay, I don't want to go in detail because why they will see a final content. Simple सा ये समझ लो. There are certain amendments taken place. So what kind of company are there? All public companies with a period of capital of 10 crore rupees or more. All public companies having turnover of 100 crore rupees or more. All public companies having in aggregate outstanding loans or borrowings or debentures or deposits exceeding 50 crores or more. Exceeding 50 crores or more. So these companies compulsorily will have to go for, they had to go for audit committee. Recently some amendments taken place, but we do not want to go in that. Look, don't remember this audit committee chapter or point. It is not applicable to your exam. So section 177 अभी आपके लिए जरूरी नहीं है. Now my point is, as I told you that it is not compulsory for every company to go for audit committee, and that is why technically speaking, guys, we people can bifurcate the companies into these two parts. Company need to constitute audit committee and company doesn't need to constitute audit committee. ये दो तरीके से हम जा सकते हैं. ठीक हो? ये दो तरीके से हम यहाँ पे जा सकते हैं. Either need to and not need to. So guys, if company need to no need to constitute audit committee, then who will recommend? Look, it's not about the appointment. Okay, before I go with the appointment, you tell me who is the ultimate authority to appoint the auditor? Board or shareholders? Auditor is actually is the representative of which community? Oh, Angela says that board. So that means the company auditor will go to the company and will detect the frauds and errors made by the board. Why would he do that? Guys, understand, he is the representative of members, shareholders. During the accounting chapter, I showed you the auditing report. बताया था मैंने auditing report. It was addressed in whose name? It was addressed to board or it was addressed to the shareholders? Tell me. ये किसको address करके लिखा गया था? No, Angela, that's myth. We have to break that misconception. We have to break. That's why I'm here. So if you remember, guys, okay, I think should I show that it will take time? Otherwise, you check it. Every audit report of the company is addressed to the members. So he's the representative of the member. So he's auditing for the members, he's creating the report for the members, the report will be submitted to the members. But shareholders can be lax of, so they cannot recommend their own CA. Otherwise, everyone can recommend their own auditor. Some of them say Chirag Khani, some of them say no. Sunil Amlani, some of them say no. CA Sandeep Sen Gupta. So there are a lot of recommendations, and that's why recommendation will be made by board if there is no audit committee. So recommend what a board will do. Board will just look at a lot of chartered accountants who are good in the service, and once it is done, he will select some of them, and after having that, he will recommend to the members, and the members will appoint CA by way of passing ordinary resolution. By way of passing ordinary resolution. Is it clear? So write down guys over here. If no, then board will recommend the auditor to member. All right. Board will recommend to the member, and then member will approve him in general meeting. The member will approve. Just like will appoint. Member will appoint him in general meeting by passing ordinary resolution. By way of passing ordinary resolution. Okay. लिख दो यहां तक complete till this. Completed. All right. After this, what if company has the audit committee? What if the company has the audit committee? Let me tell you, if company has the audit committee, not even constitute. If company has audit, then what law says, guys? Instead of board, you tell me, guys, who will recommend it to the members? Answer the question. Write down. Then audit committee will recommend. Audit recommend the auditor to the board. To the board. Now there are two possibilities. Either board accepts, either board likes him or he doesn't like him. Correct. So there are two options, right? On board may approve the recommendation of committee or board may reject. Possible? If this proposal is given, the recommendation is given by the audit committee to the board, okay, hey, this is what is my suggestion. So there are now two possibilities. Board may approve it or board may reject it. All right, board may approve it or board may reject it. If it is approved by the board, then the same thing. This point will be as it is applicable. board will recommend now further to auditor, to the member. And then you know what is going to happen, the member will pass it. ठीक है? तो क्या हो रहा है? क्यों? Second point is board may reject as well. So if it is rejected, then what happens? Write down, guys. If it is rejected, then write down. Board will revert it back to audit committee. I will put it like AC. So board will revert it back to AC for reconsideration. For reconsideration. For specifying the reasons that why board doesn't want to apply for that. All right. Okay, let me tell you again the end of part, guys. Procedure to appoint the auditor. So there are two types of companies. The company number one doesn't have audit committee. Company number two has the audit committee. If company does not have audit committee, then directly board will recommend auditor to the member. But if company has the audit committee, then what will happen? If company has the audit committee, then audit committee will first of all apply to the board, recommend to the board. There are two options. Either board is accepting the proposal or he is not accepting the recommendation. If accepted, simple, recommend to the members and members will then pass ordinary resolution. But if it is not accepted, if it is rejected, then again it will be reverted back to the audit committee for reconsideration. Please rethink about it. The auditor, what you recommended, has been charged with a lot of incompatibility, doesn't have sufficient experience, and there can be a lot of other examples. Got it? So board will revert it back to audit committee for reconsideration. For reconsideration. Hey, is it clear? Board will revert it back to audit committee for reconsideration. Again, now there are two options. Look at, guys, options and options. Again, there are two options. Okay, can anyone tell me what kind of options are there? Can anyone tell me what kind of options are there? Audit committee may accept reconsideration or he may reject it. Or he may reject the recommendation. Look at the ball. Audit committee board says I don't like, come to audit committee says I don't like. Are you getting the entire play here? How the game is happening? Huh? How the ball is just going from one party to another party, how the entire things are happening. पूरा मतलब कितना गजब वो दिख रहा है एकदम पागलों वाला. ठीक है. Okay, let's come to if AC का मतलब क्या हुआ? Audit committee. So audit committee may reject it or may accept it. May reject it, may accept it. So this kind of situation is there. हाँ इसका कलर हाँ बदलता हुआ है. हाँ. Now if he accepted the reconsideration, then write down, guys, audit committee will recommend. Look, same point would come here. Audit committee will recommend the auditor की जगह पे क्या आएगा? New auditor to the board. New auditor to the board. Now, guys, infinite time, this procedure will keep on happening there. Again, it will go to the board. So, did you see all this recommendation again will come in the short form? पूरा ये फिर से आएगा. I don't want to repeat it. Otherwise, everything will come again under this. Audit committee will recommend a new audit to the board. Board may approve, board may reject. If approved, then go. Not approved, then again board will revert it back to the AC for reconsideration. Again, there are 2 points. Do you want me to repeat this thing till infinite time? No, no. I think you can understand the left wala portion, right? If audit committee has accepted the reconsideration, he will suggest to the new auditor, and same way the group will start again. So this left hand wala part is never ending process, never ending process. So I don't want to put it here. Got it? Okay. Now come to this. What if it is rejected by the audit committee? Now audit committee is very stubborn. He says, sorry board, this is our duty to recommend it for us. This is the most suitable decision, perfect decision we people have made. So we do not want you to make any interference over here. So what if the audit committee has rejected the reconsideration? Rejected the reconsideration. तो अब क्या होगा? जनाब आली, अब क्या होगा? So law says if it is rejected, then whose auditor will be appointed? Answer the question. Audit committee's auditor will be appointed by the members, or board has the power to recommend his own auditor. Whose recommendation will be considered? What do you think about it? किसका recommendation आगे जाएगा? So write down guys, if AC has rejected the reconsideration, then the true answer to this question is write down board shall recommend his auditor recommendations to the members. So guys, understand audit committee is the part of it is below the board. Ultimately, power is the board. I hope it's clear. So board will recommend his auditor to the member, and that member will take the decision to pass him or not to pass him. All right. But there's a condition that director has to record the reason for that why he is rejected. Directors, sorry, not the directors, board needs to record the reasons for the same. Where it is recorded, it's not written, but it is in the minute books. You know what's minute books? Minute books means what? Have you ever heard about minute books? After completing any meeting, it would be written in a separate diary that what we have done so far in today's. Yes, so it is the details of the meeting. All right. So details of the meeting will be recorded. It will be recorded, and the reasons will be recorded that why they have not considered the appointment or like recommendations of audit committee. So guys, whatever I have explained, no doubt I have taken the time, but that is the extract of this entire rule. How to appoint. Rule number 4 of audit and auditor rules 2014. So before I start with that rules, now that rules I will doing very quickly. Okay. My request is you just copy this or take the snapshot of this. Done. Very good, Sriram. Done. Very good. Okay, then let's quickly go to the section 139 subsection 1 rules, that what they are trying to say here. Rule number 4 it was, I guess. Yes, 3, sorry. So guys, quickly I'm reading without wasting my time, and you just what we need to prove now, whatever you have done over here, whether the content is same or not. So in case of a company that is required to constitute an audit committee under section 177, the committee, and in cases where such a committee is not required to be constituted, the board shall take into consideration the qualifications and the experience of the individual or the firm proposed to be considered for the appointment as auditor, and whether such qualifications and experience are commensurate with the size and the requirements of the company. So guys, in case of audit committee requires to be maintained, then audit committee will look into the matter of auditor, that he will recommend by considering experience and the expertise, and in case absence of audit committee, board will do that part. Provided that while considering the appointment, the audit committee or the board, whatever the case may be, he shall will consider the pending proceedings relating to professional matters against such a person imposed by ICAI or any other court. So this is quite obvious that if you are appointing the person like auditor, आपको एक ऑडिटर अपॉइंट करना है यहाँ पे, एक ऑडिटर अपॉइंट करना है, तो ये तो ऑब्वियस है ना कि यू हैव टू लुक इनटू दैट whether any proceedings are pending or not, whether by ICI and court or not. So this is about just the qualification. So audit committee or the board at the case may call such other information from the auditor as they may deem fit. So obviously they can ask few questions to the auditor before appointment. Subject to the sub-rule 1, where a company is required to constitute the audit committee, the committee shall recommend the name of an individual or a firm as auditor to the board. So the above part is just about the qualification consideration from these guys. This part is starting that if audit committee is compulsory, it will recommend to the board or consideration, and in other cases, the board shall consider the recommendations and recommend an individual or firm as the auditor to the members in the annual general meeting for the appointment. So I think sub rule 3 is clear to all of you. This is the same thing what I have presented here. Follow? All right, let's go with that. So if the board agrees with the recommendations of the audit committee, it shall further recommend the appointment of the auditor to the members in the AGM. So that is the continuation. If the board disagrees with the recommendations of the audit committee, it shall revert back or refer back the recommendation to the committee for reconsideration, citing the reasons for such disagreement. So are you getting me? If board doesn't like, he will refer it back to the for reconsideration. Now there are 2 points. If the audit committee, after considering the reasons given by the board, decides not to reconsider its original recommendation, then board shall record reasons for its disagreement with the committee and send its own recommendation for consideration to the members in AGM. So guys, is it clear? Hello? Is it clear? And if the board agrees with the recommendation of the audit committee, then already it will place this consideration to the members. The auditor appointed in the AGM shall hold office from the conclusion of that meeting till the conclusion of the 6th meeting. So that part already we have done with. So guys, these many paragraphs we have just covered up in one small chart. So now I think you can understand that how important the chart is. All right. Oh, चलो बेटा जल्दी से हो गया 5 मिनट में पूरा चीज हो गया. Is it clear to all of you? Yes or no? ठीक है. All right. So now, guys, 139 subsection 1 is completed. 139. Okay, let me read the second paragraph. 139 subsection 1. I think these 3 paragraphs are pending. Provided further that before such appointment is made, the written consent of the auditor of such appointment and the certificate from him of his appointment shall be taken as per the rules. So guys, I think all of you know what is the certificate matters and what are the things. I think we have already discussed, but if you want to see what kind of matters will be there. So conditions for the appointment and the notice to registrar. The auditor appointed shall submit the following certificate that individual or the firm, as the case may be, is eligible for the appointment, not disqualified from the appointment. His appointment is as per the provisions of the Act. His appointment is within the limit. What kind of limit we are talking about? Did I ever tell you that one auditor can go maximum for 20 companies, not more than 20 companies? So he needs to give in the confirmation that is not disqualified, he's eligible, appointment is as per the Act, and you know it is within the limit, all right. And then he has to notify the ROC by filing the form ADT1. 300 rupees ROC will charge for this ADT1. All right. Is it clear to all of you guys? Come on. Is it clear to all of you? All right. So these all are the contents, guys. This can also be the question for your exam. This can also be the question that what kind of details will be given in the certificate. Provided also that a company shall inform the auditor consent of his appointment and also file a notice in the edited one, of course, of such appointment with the ROC within 15 days of the meeting in which the auditor is appointed. So, guys, once the auditor is appointed under section 139, subsection 1, then ADT1 will be filed with the ROC. That means company will intimate to ROC that, look, brother, we have appointed, we have hired the auditor. Okay. Uh, this is the end of section 139, subsection 1. So all of you are clear with this? 139 subsection 2 requires a lot of battery. So my request is take just 5 minutes break and then we will start it again. Okay? एक 5 मिनट का break ले लो because you won't believe 139 subsection 1 here and 139 subsection 2, the moment when these two sections are completed, your 60% chapter is completed. I'm talking about chapter, not only section. आपका पूरा चैप्टर खत्म हो जाएगा क्योंकि इसके बाद ज्यादा कुछ है ही नहीं देखने को. ठीक है. ये इतने भयानक दो सेक्शन है बिकॉज बाकी सब में उतना ब्रेन स्टोर्मिंग नहीं है. रीड को रीड को रीड को. ऑल राइट. 5 minutes and your time starts. All right, are we good to go now, guys? Please confirm. If yes, then we can start. Okay. So now we are starting with section 139, subsection 2. Here, subsection number 2. And 139, subsection 2, actually, it is the sleep killing section of a lot of chartered accountants, for a lot of chartered accountants. Because this section particularly has taken away a lot of assignments from the existing chartered accountants. And the worst part is all those chartered accountants who were working for more than 5 years in the company, there was an alarm set up under section 139 subsection 2. It was stated that maximum you have 3 years, 3 years to quit. Within 3 years, by hook or crook, you have to quit that company and you have to go for sannyas. Instead of cooling period, I would love to call this word called sannyas. I think everyone can understand what do you mean by sannyas, right? तो संन्यास पे लेना पड़ेगा. Now you won't believe section 139 subsection 2 itself is too large that rules as well as a lot of things we have to go. So again, guys, I want to prepare the chart for that. I want to prepare the chart for that section 139 subsection 2. All right. So what is my plan is, first of all, I will go with the reading words, and once it is done, I will give you the chart for that. Is it fine for everyone? पहले अपन कर लेंगे उसके बाद चार्ट दे दूंगा, ठीक है. सो चार्ट से क्या होगा कि कंटेंट थोड़ा इजी होगा, नो डाउट टाइम तो लेंगे लेकिन थोड़ा इजी हो जाएगा. So now my request to all of you is, as you can see, check it out here. ये जबरदस्त है. So basically, section 139 subsection 2 is about what? You know that right now. It is about section 139 subsection 2. Basically, it is about that cooling period. One CA can do it for how much time, how long you can go. All right. So what it says that subject, no listed company or a company belonging to such class of the companies shall appoint or reappoint an individual as an auditor for more than one term of 5 consecutive years. And if it is the audit firm, then more than 2 terms of 5 consecutive years. So I think this part already I have explained, right? If you are individual, proprietor, chartered accountant, 5 consecutive years. So look at the word consecutive. What does it mean by consecutive? So guys, is it possible to appoint auditor for less than 5 years today? According to you, is it possible to appoint auditor for less than 5 years? Answer will be no, it's not. Continuously you have to appoint for the 5 years. Again, when I talk about the 2 terms of 5 years, look, instead of that, they could have written 10 years, but the word 10 years is not written here. So we have to interpret the way it is written. So what does it mean? Already I have explained, but again I want to repeat. First of all, you have to go for the first 5 years, and once those first 5 years are completed, then you can go for another 5 years. Then you can go for another 5 years. I hope I'm clear to all of you. So what do you mean by that? In between these 2 terms, you no need to take any break. So continuously, if you want to work for the 2 terms, it is fine. So as I told you guys, for the 1 term, you have to pass one ordinary resolution. one ordinary resolution. And once that term is completed, for the second term, again you have to pass the ordinary resolution. So guys, what can be done? Click by the ICI, they can frame the question stating that in one company, the auditor is appointed by passing ordinary resolution for continuously 10 years. So explain as per the section 139 subsection 2 whether this is valid compliance or not. What do you think about it? क्या ये valid compliance है? If you have appointed for continuously 10 years, is it a valid compliance? No, not at all. So look at while reading now, we have to be very much meticulous that what can be the possible interpretation and what kind of questions ICAI ask out of it. Okay? Now let me take another question. Suppose there is a company having certain turnover, having certain paid up capital. Look at which are the companies in short which requires to follow this section 139 subsection 2. This 5 years wala provision, this cooling period wala provisions. Is it applicable to all the companies? Answer is no. It is clearly written that listed company plus other class companies, which is specified over here. Only these companies need to follow this 10 term. 5 years one term, 10 years two terms. If you are not a listed company and if you are not falling under this class, then guys, this section does not apply to you. This section does not apply to you. You can continuously go for first 5 years, then another 5 years, then third 5 years, then fourth 5 years. So 5 years actually are in the block. ये block में जा रहा है. ठीक है? Is it clear? Let me tell you. What are the companies, guys? So companies are written over here. So all unlisted company, private company, for them they have given the threshold limit. It is said that all unlisted public company having paid up share capital of rupees 10 crore or more, they need to follow this provision. For the private company, my dear students, it is 50. Look, right now it is 50 crores paid up share capital. Earlier it was 20. So guys, in 2017, amendment taken place and now this 20 is replaced with 50. So here two terms. What if any company, whether unlisted public company or private company, anything you talk about, their paid up share capital is less than 50 or less than 10. Then we can go with the third one. All companies having paid up share capital of below threshold limit in A and above B, just a second. हाँ, above word की जरूरत नहीं चाहिए. Above word is the problem. Above word नहीं आना चाहिए यहाँ पे. All companies having paid up share capital of below threshold limit as provided under A and B. But if they have the borrowings of more than 50 crores along with the public deposits, then even if their paid up capital is less than 10 crore or less than 50 crores, but if the loan is more than 50 crores, this rule will be applicable. This rule will be applicable. So fundamentally, if you look at the central government wanting to target what kind of companies? So is it about the small companies or it is about the large companies? What kind of companies they wanted to target you? Tell me. By having this, they wanted to target what kind of companies? So they wanted to target large scale companies because having the loan of 50 crores, it's not a small thing. Having 50 crore rupees paid up capital, it's a big deal. It's really a big deal. So I hope it's clear that which kind of companies would be applicable. My request is you note it down. You note it down first of all. I'm giving you 1 minute for that. I hope it is done, guys. And if it's done, then we can go to the next point. All right. Thank you. So these are the companies need to follow this kind of things. Now, this point, section 2, subsection 139, subsection 2, clause B, and then 1, 2. These many points are very important. And if there are any specific rules for that, they are also very important. They are also very important. All right, let's begin with that now. So what is written that, look now, these 3 points, 1, 2, and this all, each and every paragraph contains your, excuse me, need to reshare this. All the sections are with separate questions for your exam. ऐसा ही मान लो कि these are just like the separate questions for your exam. All right. So let's look at to this now. Point number 1, an individual auditor who has completed his term under the clause A shall not be eligible for reappointment as auditor in the same company for the 5 years from the completion of his term. So for the continuous 5 years, he will be out of the form. So guys, these two paragraphs are talking about the cooling period. An audit firm which has completed its term under this clause B shall not be. Okay, many students have this confusion. Auditor firm has the 10 years to enjoy. So cooling period will be for the 10 years. Is it true? Cooling period, whether you are individual or whether you are firm. In both the cases, it will be. In both the cases, it will be only 5 years. All right. So point number 1 is talking about the cooling period of the company, and point number 2 is talking about the cooling period of the firm. Provided further that as on the date of appointment, no audit firm having a common partners or partners to the other audit firm whose tenure has expired in a company immediately preceding the financial year shall be appointed as auditor of the same company for an upcoming period of 5 years. Now, this paragraph is a little bit difficult. Common partners. Look, one question I gave here, if you look at this question, यहाँ पे देखो, common partner वाले का point मैंने दिया था. Perhaps whatever. Look, right now my firm has completed 5 years. I have a partnership firm. I have completed my 5 years in a company. Let's say company's name is Reliance Retailers Limited. So I told Sunil sir that, sir, now let your firm continue with the audit. So why I am sharing it with the Sunil sir? Because in Sunil sir firm, I'm the partner as well. So I'm just not only the partner here, but I'm partner there. So can I say Sunil sir's firm and Chirag Akhani's firm, I am the common partner? I am the common partner. I'm the common partner. So what loss is if my firm has completed the audit of the company, all the other firms in which I am the partner, it will be suspended. All the firms will be disqualified for the upcoming 5 years. For the upcoming 5 years. Is it clear? Is it clear? Hello? Huh? Read further now. I think you will be able to understand. That as on the date of appointment, no audit firm having a common partner or partners to the other audit firm whose tenure has expired in a company immediately preceding the financial year shall be appointed as the auditor. So guys, if my firm's tenure is completed and all the other firms in which I am the partner, not only me, but even my partners are partners. For example, I have audited TCS Limited, but my partner, let's say Mr. Nilesh Thakur, he is my partner. CA Nilesh Thakur, he is partner in another partnership firm. So can I say another partnership firm where Nilesh is a partner, but Nilesh is my partner as well? Can that another partnership firm be appointed as auditor in the Reliance? Answer will be no. So either I am the partner in all the firms, or my partners are partners in other firm, then all the firms would be disqualified for the upcoming 5 years. Good provision, right? Okay, on that basis, I want to solve a question. You please answer this. So here, suppose Miss Sonia, she has recently completed the audit of Infosys Limited as being the auditor, and her partnership firm was, let's say, SP and Associates. That is the actually, Sonia's firm. Now, Sonia has a partner, let's say her name is Ishika. She's a partner in this SP and Associate, but she's also a partner. Sir, Excel is not shared. क्या मजाक कर रहे हो? अच्छा, all right. Ishika is partner here with Sonia. Ishika is a partner in Vision and Company Chartered Accountants too. So can Vision and Company, in which Ishika is a partner, be appointed as the new auditor in Infosys Limited? In Infosys Limited, answer the question. क्या विजन कर सकती है Infosys Limited? Answer will be no, not at all. Not at all. Not at all. Clear? Not at all. Not allowed. Okay, Sriram, you understand better. Sonia, she is already the partner of SP and Associates Chartered Accountants, and she has completed Infosys Limited's audit. Ishika, she is the partner in SP and Associates. So technically speaking, SP may how many partners are there? SP has partners called Sonia and Ishika. But another firm is also there called Vision. All right. Vision company that is also chartered accountant, in which Ishika and some other partners are partners. So can I say Vision chartered accountancy firm and SP chartered accountancy firm, they both of them have the common partners. Both of them have the common partners called Ishika. So if Infosys Limited's audit is done by Sonia, can Vision and company be appointed as auditor for Infosys? So answer will be no. So guys, any firm in which there are common partners, all those firms will be disqualified. All those firms will be disqualified. So guys, note it down if you want to. About the common partners. Look, these examples you have to note it down. These are examples will help you to solve. Sir, a CA be a partner in 2 firms? Yes, it is allowed. Not only 2, he can be in multiple firms he wants. Depends upon the lot of benefits. But already my firm has completed the auditor, and I'm the partner somewhere else. Then in both the firms, I am the common partner. Both of them are now disqualified for upcoming 5 years. Once 5 years completed, then they can go again for Infosys. That is the different story. Then that is the different story. Okay? Type the word clear if you have understood the example. All right. अब एक और क्वेश्चन है, देखते हैं यहाँ पे, ठीक है? Let's understand this question because the next paragraph what I want to solve here, now that belongs to this part only. Suppose Miss Minakshi, Miss Minakshi. This is one of the toughest questions, guys. This is one of the toughest questions. Don't pray that this should come in exam. अगर आ गया तो बेटा चकते फड्डे हो जाएगा. ठीक है? Minakshi. She is a partner in the partnership firm called, let's say, let me take some real names. Suppose PwC. PwC. All right. Look at the question. So she's partner in PwC. PwC has recently completed the audit of a company called L&T Limited. L&T Limited. And this firm has completed two terms. L&T Limited. And this firm has completed two terms of 5 years each. तो इस कंपनी ने अपने 10 साल खत्म कर लिए. 10 years completed. 10 years completed. ठीक है? Now, this information is given in the question that Minakshi signed audit report of this company. Okay. So Minakshi was a signatory. Okay. She was a signatory. Let me just take in this way. She had signed it. She was a signatory. She was a signatory. Okay. Now, another fact is given, but she is not in charge. But she was not in charge of the firm. बेटा import डेटा को ध्यान रखना, हर एक वर्ड इंपॉर्टेंट है. साइंड एंड इंचार्ज, ये दोनों वर्ड काफी इंपॉर्टेंट है अगर इस क्वेश्चन को सॉल्व करना चाहते हैं, बिकॉज इसी से ही सॉल्यूशन बनेगा. All right. Now later on, Meenakshi didn't like it that she should be in PwC, lot of pressure. So what Meenakshi did is Meenakshi resigned from PwC. That's very interesting. Meenakshi, she resigned from PwC and now she joined another firm called Deloitte. Now she went in Deloitte. All right. So can I say now there are common partners in Deloitte and PwC? Come on. Can I say there are common partners in Deloitte and PwC? Can I say there are common partners in Deloitte and PwC? Answer is no, there are no common partners. Why? She is not joining. She already left it. She resigned. So guys, actually, if I want to show you like animation wise, the things goes in this way. Dun, 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 like this. Okay. And now the fact in the question is Deloitte is proposed to be appointed as auditor for L&D for upcoming next 5 years. So my question is it allowed or it is not allowed? Answer this. Is it allowed or not allowed? So can Deloitte be appointed as the auditor? Can Deloitte be appointed auditor for the L&T Limited? बेटा काफी खूबसूरत सी क्वेश्चन है, काफी खूबसूरत सी क्वेश्चन. Come on. Now guys, if you want to take the answer to this, you should be clear for this upcoming paragraph. Just a second. अरे बाप, रूल्स नहीं दिए, ऐसा कैसे हुआ? All right, if rules are not given, I will tell you. Where is the answer written? Paragraph किधर गया? This part I will explain later on, but first of all, इसके rules किधर गए? ठीक है, उसका आंसर मैं आपको दिखाता हूँ रूल्स में, रुको। मेरे को तो आता है भाई, डोंट वरी, लेकिन मैं आपको दिखाना चाहता हूँ वो किधर गया। सो जीडीआर नहीं चाहिए ना, कम थर्ड पॉइंट, कंपनी अकाउंट्स, अकाउंट्स के बाद ऑडिटिंग आएगा। ऑडिटिंग दिखे तो बता रहा हूँ, सीएसआर के बाद आएगा। इज दिस रूल? कैन यू सी दिस ऑडिट एंड ऑडिटिंग रूल्स हियर? So the first one we have already done. Class of companies we have done. Sixth point, that's what I want to tell you. Look at this now. It's this point. This point. So guys, company auditor rules, rule number six. And in the rule number six, look at the sub, what I can say, rule number, sub rule number three, clause two, and in the clause two, sub clause B. और बाप रे, कितना लंबा है ना, तो कितना सारा हुआ। मारा बोली सीधा अपन पढ़ते हैं। So if a partner who is in charge of an audit firm, so you tell me Meenakshi was in charge or not in charge in the given question? Because if we are reading the paragraph, we have to relate this with the example. She was not in charge. So the first condition is if a partner who is in charge of the audit firm and also certifies the financial statement. So whether Meenakshi signed and certified the financial statement or not, what was the content in the point? Yes, she signed it. So she signed, but she was not in charge of the firm. But what is written in the rule? Two conditions: in charge as well as certified. And if she retires from the said firm and joins another firm of the chartered accountants, such other firm shall also be ineligible to be appointed. So, guys, Deloitte would be ineligible if these two conditions are satisfied: signed and in charge and retired and then join. Can I say only one of the conditions is satisfied but other is not? She signed it but not as being in charge. So guys, if these kind of partners are leaving the old firm and they are joining the new firm, if this kind of partners, if these kind of partners are leaving the old firm and they are joining the new firm, then new firm is eligible or ineligible? Answer would be eligible. So answer to this question is Deloitte is eligible. Deloitte is eligible. Are you clear? Deloitte is eligible because she signed it without being the in charge. And rule clearly mentions that a firm would be ineligible only in the case when you are in charge plus you certify the financial statements. And then you retire and then you go. Are you clear with this? Are you people are you people clear with this? Okay. ठीक है? Is the paragraph clear? Section 139 subsection 2? By the way, there are a lot of rules, but those rules I will tell you later on. Okay. Right now, you come to this section again. Section 139, subsection 2. Look, one of the biggest limitation I don't like about the book is they have not linked the rules together. उनको rules को link करना चाहिए था, लेकिन link नहीं किया. In that particular section, they should have given the list of applicable rules. Do you agree with my statement? They should have given the list of applicable rules, but they have not provided this. Students, all of you know that after this Kritika ma'am's session is not there, I'm going to take this. Do you know this? Because ma'am is not able to take. So what I will do is I will give you the 15 minutes break and I will start the session at 4:15. So till that, can I complete this 139 subsection 2? Rules हम करेंगे लेकिन अभी नहीं करेंगे. पहले इसकी reading complete कर देते हैं, ठीक है? So guys, this one is clear. That provided further that as on date of the appointment, no auditor firm having a common partner can go for, and all of those firms having the common partners, 5 is break. What is this about? What is this about? Look, there are a lot of amendments taken place. Did I tell you that all those existing auditors need to resign from the existing companies who have all in which already they have completed 5 years for the 10 years, but earlier the time was given 3 years. Did I tell that? That is called the transit period. Within this much years, you have to leave and you have to go for sannyas, you have to go for vacation, you have to go for cooling. But earlier, after then, there was amendment. क्या amendment आया? Actually, this is not applicable for your exam. Amendment ऐसा था कि 3 years when gets completed, some more time added because some chartered accountants could not resign from the company within those 3 years. So law amended it. They said that 3 years plus time till next AGM of the company. So if you look at it, it is written that provided also that every company existing on or before this act commenced required to comply with the provisions shall comply with the requirements of this subsection within a period of which shall not be later than the date of the first AGM within the period specified under subsection 196 after completion of 3 years. So 3 years plus first AGM coming after 3 years, within that much time you need to remove the previous auditor and you need to hire or appoint the new auditor. By the way, this is not applicable for your exam. Provided also that nothing contained in this subsection shall prejudice to the right of the company to remove the auditor. Hey guys, once the auditor is appointed for the 5 years, can he be removed by following section 140? Answer is absolutely yes. So those rights would be intact. So no auditor can say that, okay, I had a contract for the 5 years, how dare you to remove me? He can be removed. He can be removed. And if he is appointed for the 5 years, it does not mean that auditor cannot resign even. If auditor does not like the pressure created by the company, and if the company is not cooperating, auditor has the right for going with resignation. It can go for resignation. Hey, is it clear now? Is it clear to all of you? Is it clear to all of you? Is it clear to all of you? हाँ जी. Now जल्दी से उस रूल को कंप्लीट कर लेते हैं. कौन सा रूल? एक्सपायरी वाला. एंड वंस दैट रूल गेट्स ओवर, पूरी 139 सबसेक्शन 2 कंप्लीट हो जाएगी. एंड देन आई विल टेल यू व्हाट आर द क्वेश्चन, पॉसिबल क्वेश्चन जो यहाँ से आ सकते हैं. ठीक है, रूल्स में जाते हैं. यहाँ पे किधर गया? थर्ड पॉइंट, थर्ड भी नहीं, फोर्थ में था ना मेरे हिसाब से. ये ऑडिट एंड ऑडिटर रूल्स. एंड आई वांट ऑल ऑफ यू टू गो टू द रूल नंबर 6. Read all these rules. It's very common. What it says that the audit committee shall recommend, that part already we have done, the name of the individual auditor or the audit firm who may replace the incumbent auditor on expiry of his term, where a company is required to constitute and so these 2 points are like, if audit committee is required to constitute, go with that. If it doesn't require, board will recommend. All right. Now, this is very important. In case of an auditor, the period for which the individual or the firm has held office as audited prior to the commencement of the act shall be taken into account for calculating the period of 5 consecutive years or the 10 consecutive years as the case may be. तो ये जो है ना ये काफी फाड़ू चीज है. Student, already you have completed 3 years and suddenly the law introduced. So fresh 5 years will be started, or those 3 years what you have already completed that will also be considered. Answer the question. By the way, this is not applicable for your exam because this is long back. Batao, if you have already worked 3 years, will it be counted or not counted? अरे लिखा तो है यार. It shall be taken into account. So what is meaning of taken into account? So already worked will be counted or not? But ये तभी की बात है जब 2013 was introduced. Today this provision is not applicable because suddenly government said that vacate office of auditor. So these 5 years or the 10 years are not fresh. Let's say there is one chartered accountancy firm who has already enjoyed 8 years. You tell me, guys, how many maximum years available for that firm now? 8 years already completed. You tell me how many maximum years available for that now? अरे क्या batch है? Total 10. It already completed, so now it can work for 2 years. 2 years. But as the transit period was given for the 3 years, because decisions supposed to be taken within 3 years, so he could enjoy for 3 years. Actually, 2 years are available, but transit period is 3 years. तो वो 3 साल तक एंजॉय कर सकते हैं मैक्सिमम, not beyond that. All right. So the incoming auditor or the audit firm shall not be eligible if such auditor or audit firm associated with the outgoing auditor or audit firm under the same network or the audit firms. So guys, this particular sub rule is made to break the monopoly of those big giants. If the incoming new firm is belong to the same network or associated with the previous firm, disqualified for the 5 years. Now, what do you mean by same network? Same network means the firms operating or functioning or they will function in future under the same brand name, trade name or under the common control. Okay. A break in the term for a continuous period of 5 years shall be considered as a fulfilling the requirement. So this word is very horrible. Continuously you have to take the break. You have taken a 1 year break and again you joined. Then again you taken a 1 year, again you joined. So those break part which you've taken in separate year, not as a continuous 5 years, that will be not considered as a proper break. If a partner, okay, this part already I have done. Okay, so that's all about example illustrations are not applicable to you. So all these sub rules are clear to all of you. Hello? Are all sub rules clear to all of you? You can type the word yes or no. Come on. All right. So guys, here it is the completion of two powerful sections, section 139.1 and section 139 subsection 2. You can type the word clear if you have understood till this. So break लेंगे अभी 15 minutes का, then I will go to subsection number 3, then 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 139 over. Okay, don't think like or a chapter over. नहीं दे, only section 139 is over. And after 139, as you know that we have 140, 141. Enjoy your board. And I will continue with the same link. Thank you. Find. Yes. All right. So section 139. Quickly go to subsection 3 now. And subject to the provisions of this act, members of a company may resolve that provided. Now, what this means, what this paragraph is trying to say, may resolve it. Now, trust me, guys, this provision was not needed. I don't know why sometimes the government becomes very over smart. They think that people don't know anything. They have just clarified, and this clarification is not that much important for your exam point of view. Technically, it is trying to say that if there is any firm is appointed, any firm is appointed, can they demand as being the part of contract with the firm that every year you should send the new auditor, or once the first term is completed in the second term you should send the new auditor. So can they go for this kind of demand? Answer is yes. So it is written that members of the company may resolve that the audit firm appointed by it, the auditing partner and his team, shall be rotated at such intervals. So whatever, look, in one firm there can be 5 partners, 10 partners, 50 partners, depends. So is it possible for the members? It is possible for the members of the company to demand that every year the person should be changed, or the 2 years the team should be changed. We do not want to work with the same change just to avoid that link between the company's directors and the auditor. So obviously subsection 3 gives that power. Subsection 3 allows that power. Audit shall be conducted by more than one auditor, so that also can be demanded by the auditor. So if you are noting, guys, subsection 3 here, it is the demand by the member. Either more than one people should work together or intervals. Fourth point. Now subsection 4, from this point, the real thing is starting, that's the appointment. Before I start, let me tell you about the appointment. First auditor and the subsequent auditor and casual vacancy. Before I read this point, is this point clear to all of you? First auditor, subsequent auditor and the auditor appointed in casual vacancy. क्या ये सब कुछ clear है आप लोगों को? ठीक है? So one thing is crystal clear, that if I talk about this government company, auditor is not appointed the way it is appointed in the normal company. Okay, anyone knows who appoints auditor for government company? Any idea? I think in the division chapter or some chapter I discussed that in detail. So he's CAG, Comptroller Auditor General of India. Anyone has any idea what do you mean by CAG? Let me tell you. What is CAG? Because if you look at over here, it's written that. Just a second. Dear, this part already we have done, this prescription, right? Just a second. Rotation of the auditor by the expiry of that term. So that part already we have done, right? 5 years and associated with the ongoing. So these parts already we have done, right? So I don't want to go in that. So if you look at, in case of a government company or any other company which is controlled by the central government or the state government, so basically we are talking about the government company, auditor shall be appointed by this person called the Comptroller Auditor General of India. He shall appoint it. Comptroller. So all of you have the knowledge, right? Who is CAG? What is his powers? How powerful he is? Who appoints him? And if you're comfortable with that, then I don't want to discuss it again. All right. So CAG shall appoint the auditor who is duly qualified. Within what period? Within a period of 180 days from the commencement of the financial year, who shall hold the office till conclusion of the next annual general meeting. All right, how many points are there? Let me tell you. First of all, if there's a government company, there's a government company over here. Just huh. For that particular financial year, CAG will appoint. That is the point number one. Within what time? 180 days. And this 180 days will be considered from when? So from the end of financial year, 180 days will be considered. And his office will be from the to appointment to next AGM. This is what is the maximum tenure auditor can enjoy here. So technically, what am I trying to say? That it is not like 5 years term, just like the section 139 subsection 1, what we have discussed. In the government company, every year the auditors are changing. So those 5 years vacation and all that stuff doesn't apply to government company. Government company. Okay, that doesn't apply to government company. Further, it is written that the first auditor of a company, but other than auditor company. So this is very interesting. Subsection number 6, I want to give you a brief about it. First auditor in normal company. First auditor in normal company. How it goes. So guys, first of all, board will appoint. Board will appoint by passing the board resolution. Obviously by following the committee rules. But there are two possibilities. Either board has appointed the auditor within 30 days, that means in the given time. But is it possible that auditor may miss it? Like board of directors, if the power was given, but they will miss it. Power was given, but they are not able to do that. Possible or not? So in case the board could not appoint the auditor within 30 days, then the opportunity will be missed from their hands. And now it will be going in the hands of members. Okay, is the concept clear? If it is first auditor in normal company, first of all, the power is given to the board of directors, and if they could not do that within the specified time limit, power is given to the members. Now, what is the conclusion of this point? ये बात काफी इंटरेस्टिंग है guys. First auditor should be appointed before AGM or in AGM? Answer the question. Because in annual general meeting, the regular subsequent auditor will be appointed. Right? So technically speaking, guys, before AGM, the first auditor should be appointed. Sriram, I told you, first auditor 30 days board will appoint. और AGM में तो subsequent auditor for the 5 years appoint होगा ना. So generally, first auditor shall be appointed before AGM. Before AGM, ठीक है? He will be appointed before AGM. AGM से पहले appoint हो जाएगा. Board will appoint, but if the board failed, then who will appoint? Members will appoint. So guys, this is the situation where extraordinary general meeting will be called up before AGM. So there are a lot of students who are misunderstanding, believing that AGM is the like first AGM. It is the first general meeting of the company. Answer is wrong. There can be the situations where extraordinary emergency general meeting will be called first. Look at this. Within 30 days, if the board could not complete it, immediately board will call the members meeting. Even if the AGM is not scheduled, and in that extra emergency general meeting, auditor will be appointed. First auditor will be appointed. Am I clear to all of you guys? That is the basic background or funda of this thing. Don't worry, I have already ready-made chart which I want to present. वो चार्ट ऑलरेडी बना हुआ है, वो मैं आपको दूंगा, लेकिन अभी नहीं, पहले इसको आप कंप्लीट करो. So what is written that notwithstanding anything contained in the subsection 1, the first auditor of a company other than government company. Why? Because when I talk about the government company, subsection 5 will apply. Subsection 5 will apply. All right. So subsection 7 will apply. So क्या लिखा इधर? First auditor shall be appointed by the board of directors within 30 days from the date of registration. Okay, so the first point is clear to all of you. Come on. So what is the answer over here? write down first auditor. So first of all, board, and bill कितना रहेगा 30 days. Remember this shortcut. And in case of failure of the board, board to appoint such auditor, it shall inform the members of the company who shall within 90 days at an extraordinary general meeting appoint such auditor, and such auditor shall hold the office till the conclusion of the first AGM. So guys, if board failed, then how much time you have? Members will appoint within what time? 90 days. 90 days. All right? 90 days. All right? All right. Now there is just one small doubt is there, sir. This 90 days will be considered from when? So there are two interpretations. Is it the date from incorporation, from registration, or it is from the expiry of 30 days? So if you ask me honestly, as no any clarification is provided so far, this 90 days will be considered from the date of registration. That is just my opinion. All right, my opinion. It will be from the date of registration. So is it clear, guys? Board and members 3090 point. Hmm? All right. And what is the maximum time period for which it would be held? AGM. Okay. AGM. So subsection number 6 provides about the first auditor other than government company. Now subsection number 7 that says that in case of a government company or any company owned by the central government or the state government, the first auditor shall be appointed by CAG. Now that is very interesting. If I talk about in the government company, first auditor shall be appointed by CAG. Within what time? So look at it, is written that within 60 days from the date of registration. 60 days. So here it is 60 days. Now, is there any possibility for CAG fails? Possible or not? Come on. If CAG fails, then who will appoint? If CAG fails, then board will appoint. And if board fails, then members will appoint. So guys, understand, in other than government company, we had board, if board fails, members. But in government company, there are 3 layers. First of all, CAG will go within 60 days. If CAG fails, then board, and board fails, then members. All right. And how it is going? It is written that from the date of registration of the company, and in case of the CAG of India doesn't appoint such auditor within the said period, board shall appoint such auditor within next to 30 days. This word is written next to 30 days. Next word is written. Unfortunately, in this 90 days, the word next is not provided. आपने ये देखा यहाँ पे? Within 90 लिखा है, next नहीं लिखा. Next होता तो after expiry of 30 होता. Alright. Next 30 days. And in case even board failed, then you have another next 30 days, member will go with that. So CAG board members. So 60, 30, 30. This is how you should remember. बेटा इतना डेटा याद रखो, पूरा प्रोविजन याद हो जाएगा. This is the shortcut. So first auditor other than government. Okay, if you want to take it like this, चलो इसको ऐसे लिखो आप. Write down like this. Okay. So here it is board, and here it is members. Okay. This is just the shortcut to remember this. बोर्ड के पास कितना पावर है? 30 days. Members के पास 90 days. But as it is not mentioned, we will consider this from from date of registration. All right. So this is the formula to keep in mind about other than government company. If you come over here, then first of all CAG, it is 60 days. Then board 30 days. And after that members 30 days. So if you remember these two tables, guys, आपका पूरा subsection में 3 marks के पूरे questions आपके solve हो जाएंगे. Okay, note it down and type the word done quickly. अरे भाई हो गया. हो गया. ओके, एक बार रिवाइज करते पूरा. एक बार रिवाइज करते. चलो. Come down to this particular section 139 wala part. If you look at it. Okay. Now what I want is, if it is a government company, तो फर्स्ट ऑडिटर कैसे होगा यहाँ पे? कम ऑन. फॉर्मूला उसको ऐसे भी याद रख सकते हैं. 60 30 30. दिस इज द कोड टू रिमेंबर. अदर देन गवर्नमेंट कंपनी बोलो क्या होगा? 1690, सॉरी 3090. ठीक है. एक ही कोड में कैसे आप याद रख सकते थे? 30. अपॉइंटमेंट ऑफ सब्सिक्वेंट ऑडिटर इन केस ऑफ गवर्नमेंट कंपनी बताओ कब होगा? 180 days फ्रॉम फाइनेंशियल ईयर एंड. अदर देन गवर्नमेंट कंपनी. अच्छा, इसका आंसर तो नहीं बताया ना. बताओ. अदर देन गवर्नमेंट कंपनी सब्सिक्वेंट ऑडिटर्स कैसे होगा? फर्स्ट एजीएम टू 6th AGM. So by memorizing this much short codes, you can understand all the 4 short notes about exam. Clear? Type the word clear so that I can go to the next point. Dear, come on. हो गया? All right, then I would like to go to the next point. 8th one is about casual vacancy. So guys, casual vacancy, as you know guys, that suddenly the auditor leaves due to resignation, due to death, he become insolvent, he become disqualified, he become unsound mind. There can be any reason. If my vacancy is vacant, then what are the consequences? What are the consequences? What it says? In the case of a company other than a company whose accounts are subject to audit by an auditor appointed by CAG. So guys, this one point is talking about what? CAG. Government company. So in case a company other than a company whose accounts are required to be audited by CAG. So guys, this paragraph they are talking about what? Company other than. Okay, बताओ किसका अकाउंट CAG ऑडिट करेगा? गवर्नमेंट कंपनी. सो अल्टीमेटली कहने से कंपनी अदर देन गवर्नमेंट कंपनी. Other than government company, any casual vacancy shall be filled up by the board of directors within 30 days. Within 30 days. But if it is due to resignation, if due to resignation of an auditor, such appointment shall also be approved by the company at a general meeting, which must have to be convened within 3 months from the recommendation of the board, and he shall hold office till the conclusion of next AGM. Now, maybe the doubt is, sir, could not get your point. Please repeat it. Fine. If you could not get, I have an idea. Look at this chart. Appointment of auditor during the casual vacancy. Casual vacancy. But in which company? In government or other government? Okay. चलो उसके बारे में थोड़ा देख लेते हैं यहाँ पे. सपोज it is other than government company. Yes, right on. Casual vacancy in other than, casual vacancy in other than government, casual vacancy in other than government company. There are 2 points. Is it due to resignation or it is other than resignation? Alright. Sir, Excel is not shared. क्या बात कर रहे हो? अरे वाह, इतना सारा लिख दिया. ठीक है. So either it is due to resignation or it is due to other than resignation. These 2 points are there, as I've already told. हाँ हो रहा है यार आज सिस्टम को. हाँ, अरे यार, it is not letting me to choose the colors. अरे आप में से तो कोई नहीं कर रहा भाई. अब आया तो मजा नहीं है. फिर से इधर आ. ठीक है. So guys, if it is other than resignation, then board of directors will do it within, board will do it within 30 days. Within 30 days. If it is due to resignation, then again guys, board will do it within 30 days. But further it is written that board needs to take the consent of shareholders. Take the consent of shareholders by conducting general meeting. Within what time? Anyone if remember? Within next 2 weeks. Next 2 weeks. So technically speaking, guys, there are 2 causes: resignation and other than resignation. Many students could not understand the logic between these two. What is the logic that? What is the logic that? What is the logic that resignation is taken or considered separately and other than resignation is considered separately? Okay, do you have any logic for that? इन दोनों को अलग अलग क्यों किया गया? Can I say, guys, that when I speak about due to resignation, it is voluntarily casual vacancy, like casual vacancy which is created voluntarily without any force, without any force, without any force. There was no any pressure. There was no any emergency. Peacefully, he got removed. Okay, so you tell me, if I ask you the factor of sudden, if you compare this to resignation versus other than resignation, for the board of directors, which situation is sudden situation? All of sudden it come. Other than resignation or resignation? Answer the question. If I ask you, sudden वाला part किधर है ज्यादा, तो कहाँ पे आएगा ये? Look, if resignation is given, can I say that both the parties had sufficient time to think, sufficient time to discuss about the matters? Can I say like that? When resignation is right now given, board will discuss the matters. Why kya hua? So when resignation is given, it didn't happen suddenly. There was a process. It was given discussion, and then board says, "Fine, you can leave or you can continue." But if somebody died, was there any intimation period by the auditor? भाई मैं जा रहा हूँ, मेरा accident होने वाला है. Please arrange somebody. If he becomes insolvent. So understand that when I talk about resignation, there was sufficient time for the board to conduct the time to take the consent of general meeting. To take the consent of general. So right now, board will just recommend, just appoint, and auditor will start his work. But just within next 3 months, he'd ask the shareholder stating, ladies and gentlemen, suddenly our previous auditor has resigned, as you all know, and suddenly we have to appoint Mr. Chirag as the new auditor. And I need your consent. Please vote on his behalf. That do you want to agree with him or not? So resignation means you had a sufficient time. So that's why the law has not given complete freedom to board. They have say that fine board, you can appoint auditor as of now, but subject to consent taken from shareholders. But if it is other than resignation, sudden vacancy, then complete freedom is given to the board that within 30 days board will appoint. Hey guys, the entire logic is clear to all of you? Hello? Entire logic is clear about casual vacancy. All right. So look at again, I want to read it. So in case of a company other than a company whose accounts are audited, you know that casual vacancy shall be filled up within 30 days. But if such is due to resignation, such appointment shall also be approved by the company. So you need to take the consent, you need to take the approval of the shareholders in a general meeting which you have to conduct within 3 months. Now, second point, in the case of a company whose accounts are subject to audit, that means this point is talking about what I can say the government company, and if there is any casual vacancy, it shall be filled up by CAG within 30 days. So obviously as expected. If it is other than government company, then it will be filled up by CAG. If CAG doesn't fill, so tell me who will be the next? If CAG doesn't fill within 30, then board will do that within upcoming next 30. So guys, if you want to get a chart for this, I can prepare. कुछ इंटरनेट का तो लफड़ा चल रहा है. Casual vacancy in government company. Write down guys over here. First of all, CAG within 30 days. In case of failure, in case of failure, who will appoint? Obviously, board will appoint within next 30 days. That's all. Members' power is not provided over here. Member का power नहीं है. Members का powers नहीं है. So guys, this is all about casual vacancy. Type the word clear if you have understood this beautiful subsection. Clear? Now let's go to the subsection 9 if you want. Subsection 9, if I start with, before I start, I want all of you to just focus on this particular question. When auditor is ineligible for the reappointment. So you tell me, there are certain points when he can not be reappointed. For example, he is disqualified, he has resigned. We want to appoint him, but he shows his unwillingness. We want to hire him, but he says, no, I don't want to continue. Can we force anyone? नहीं भाई मेरा auditor बन जा, भाई मेरा auditor बन जा. We cannot pressurize anyone. So guys, subsection 9 says that under these circumstances, there are 3 are given. auditor will be ineligible to be reappointed. If he is disqualified, he has not given the company a notice in writing of his okay, what is written that a retiring auditor may be reappointed if the following conditions are satisfied. So under what circumstances he can be reappointed? So it is written that he can be reappointed if he is not disqualified. He can be reappointed if he has not given the notice of his unwillingness. If he has given the notice that I don't want to continue, he can't be reappointed. Okay. If just a second. Special resolution has not been passed appointing somebody else. Now, this word is very important. Why special resolution? Uh, if you remember, yesterday while I was discussing removal of the auditor, मैंने कहा था, removal of auditor is not as easy as previous now. Two very important formalities you need to complete. The first one is you have to pass the special resolution. You know that. First one is you need to pass the special resolution, and along with that, you need to take the consent of central government. Are you getting me? Law says that already special resolution is passed by the company not to appoint the retiring auditor. That means members want that I should not be repeated. Board wants, but members has passed the special resolution for not appointing me. Can I be continued as reappointment? Answer is no. Then I cannot be. Then I cannot. All right. Students, is it clear? So under these three circumstances, I will be ineligible. So disqualification, unwillingness, and special resolution. These are the three words remembering which you can remember the whole question. Disqualification, unwillingness, and the special resolution for not appointing. Last two subsections and this entire what I can say section will get over. Where at any AGM, no auditor is appointed or reappointed. Guys, subsection 10, my favorite. My favorite. Let's take in question 2. Here, my favorite question. Let's say Sriram, who is the auditor for Hindustan Unilever Limited, actual auditor. Sriram, who is the auditor for the Hindustan Unilever Limited. Hindustan Unilever Limited. Good. Okay, if he's a proprietor, how many years he can enjoy? If he's a proprietor, you tell me how many years he can enjoy. One term of 5 years, right? One term of 5 years he can continue. Okay, after 5 years, in the next AGM, can I say that he will be replaced with the other auditor? Because company cannot leave without auditor. When the 6th AGM completes, so fundamentally, from this AGM till 6th AGM, Mr. Sriram will continue. From this AGM to 6th AGM, Mr. Sriram will continue as the auditor. So at the 6th AGM, Sriram will discontinue and in its place new person will be appointed. But unfortunately, due to any reason, company failed, or let's say the proposal which was raised by the board, members rejected. Members rejected that we do not want to have this kind of auditor. And company failed. Company failed to appoint the auditor for upcoming 2 years. So for the 2 years, company failed to appoint the auditor. Explain the provision. What a question. And this question is given under section 139 subsection 10. ये जिसको मालूम है वो पैराग्राफ जिसको पता है वही उस क्वेश्चन को ले सकता है. So guys, first of all, write down the question. complete the question and then I will go with the solution. Come on, do it fast. Is the question clear? If you're completed, I can just start the solution now. So subsection 10 क्या कहते हैं? Subsection 10 says that when company fails to appoint new auditor after completion of one term of 5 years of the previous auditor, until the new auditor is appointed, this old one will continue. Old one will continue. And company has to pay money for that. So many students have this doubt, is it possible that even after completion of 5 years, is there any circumstance, any situation given in the law that even after completion of 10 years or the 5 years, auditor may continue? Answer is absolutely yes. It is given because there is no any other way. Company failed to appoint the new auditor, obviously it's a failure, so old one will continue. Old one will continue. Old one will continue. Now, many of you are thinking that's a what about cooling period? Understand, cooling period is the company's responsibility, not the auditor's responsibility. If company appoints me, I deserve to get my money. I deserve to get my money. It is company's mistake. Okay, is the question clear? Look at the 139 subsection 10. Where at AGM, no auditor is appointed or reappointed, the existing auditor shall continue to be the auditor of the company. Is it clear? Subsection 11 says that any kind of appointment if you want to make, and if you have the audit committee under section 177, all the recommendations will be coming from this committee only. If you have the committee, all the recommendations will be given by this committee only. So if you have the committee, board will not directly go for this thing until and unless you have those situation where recommendation of committee is literally ignored by the board. So guys, there are total 11 subsections. So subsection 139, subsection 1 and subsection 2. वो subsection गजब थी भाई, गजब थी. ठीक है? Guys, whole section 139 is clear in everyone's mind. You can type the word yes or no. Come on. बाकी लोग कहाँ चले गए? निकल गए. Did I announce that after this I will continue? ठीक है. Okay, so on that basis, I want to solve few questions. Already asked questions from the auditing chapter. Do you want to do that? थोड़े कुछ questions किए जाए? चलिए quickly लॉ के कुछ सर्टेन के questions किए जाते हैं. All right. चलो भाई कुछ अपॉइंटमेंट के. अच्छा, सबसे पहले चार्ट को कॉपी कर लो. ये चार्ट. इस चार्ट को आप कॉपी कर लो बच्चे जल्दी से। ये वाला चार्ट, ये वाला चार्ट सिर्फ एक स्क्रीनशॉट ले लो। यस, आई विल कीप माई सेल्फ आउट ऑफ द प्रेजेंटेशन। यस, कॉपी दैट। हो गया कॉपी। वही चार्ट ही है, सिर्फ एक बार कर लो अगर आपको इस फॉर्मेट में चाहिए। एंड इफ यू वांट टू टेक दिस वन, दिस इज कैजुअल वैकेंसी, तो उसका भी मैंने चार्ट आपको दिया है, बट एक बार ले सकते हो। ओके, क्वेश्चंस क्वेश्चंस क्वेश्चंस। All right, so I hope you people are able to. All right, all of you are ready to go with this? I hope you can just. All right. Look, I will not solve all the questions. I will solve only those questions which are related to section 139. So state the procedure for the following. Uh, Appointment of first auditor when the board of directors did not appoint the first director within 1 month from the date of registration of the company. So guys, what will be the answer? So first of all, we have to check it. It is the company other than government company. So within first 1 month, 1 month is actually not a proper word. It should be 30 days. If board fails, then guys, powers will be given to whom? Powers will be given to whom? It will be given to below members within 90 days. Removal of statutory auditor that I have not taken up yet, so I will not tell this. Okay. What difference it would make if the auditor was first appointed by the board of directors? Nothing. No any difference would be there. All right. Now, come to this part. Explain how the auditor will be appointed. A government company within the meaning of 394 of the Companies Act. So guys, government company में क्या आएगा? Within 180 days from the end of financial year, the auditor who has resigned as on 31st December 2013, while the financial year of the company ends on 31st March 2014. So guys, the provision goes in this way that within 30 days board will appoint, and within upcoming next 3 months, annual general meeting will be called up and approval of the shareholders will be taken. Okay. This question, a company whose shareholders include the following: Bank of Baroda, National Bank holding 12% of the subscribed capital, National Insurance Company holding 10%, and Maharashtra State Financial Corporation holding 8% of the company. Okay, you tell me Bank of Baroda. Wait a second. There is a company, total if is 12 plus 10 comes to 20, 22 plus 8 comes to total 30% are held by different organizations. My question is, does it become government company just because of this holding? Any company, if Bank of Baroda, National Insurance Company Limited or Maharashtra State Financial Corporation, guys, this data is provided for what? This data is provided so that we can conclude whether the company is government company or not. According to the definition, in order to call any company as government company, any company as government company, you should have at least 51% shareholding. Here total coming only 30%, that is not belong to government company. So guys, over here, the company auditor will be appointed as normal as the other company. All right. Prakash Carriers Limited appointed Mr. Raman as its auditor because all these questions are examination questions. ठीक है, attempt नहीं लिखा लेकिन examination questions है. Don't forget that. So Prakash Carriers Limited appointed Mr. Raman as its auditor in the AGM on 30th September 2009. Initially, he accepted the appointment, but resigned from his office due to some personal reason. The board of directors seeks your advice. So, guys, can I say this question is about casual vacancy? Just you can type the word yes or no. This question is about casual vacancy. All right? ठीक है. 1/4 of the subscribed capital is held by government of Rajasthan. 1/4 means how much percentage it would come? 25%. So you tell me guys whether company is government company or not. Answer would be no, it's not a government company. Mr. Neeraj, a qualified chartered accountant, was appointed as an auditor of the company at the AGM by passing the ordinary resolution. Mr. Sanjay, a shareholder of the company, objects to the manner he is appointed. He said that it is a violation of the Companies Act. Tell me, guys, it is a normal company. He's appointed in AGM by shareholders. Is it a violation? Just because 25% is held by government? No. It is not a government company because in order to be the government company, at least 51% should be held by government, whether central or the state. So appointment is valid. Appointment is valid. Look at the conclusion. The contention of Mr. Sanjay is not tenable. The appointment is valid under the Companies Act. Opt EF Limited appointed individual firm Naresh and Company Chartered Accountants as auditors of the company at the AGM held 30th September 2024. Mrs. Kamla, oh my God, holding 1 lakh rupees. Guys, from this point, removal, resignation, and qualification points are starting. So I want to stop now. So these many questions, I hope it is clear in everyone's mind. So I think at least you got the idea that the things what we are learning, what kind of questions they are asking in exam. So if you want to solve the question number 5 here, you should have the knowledge of subsequent sections. Subsequent sections. Okay? चलिए अब नए सेक्शन की ओर चलते हैं. That is section 140. What is the section 140 right now? Section 140. It has the two components to learn. The first one is write down resignation and procedure formalities. And the second part, what is given here, that is about removal. Removal and the formalities. In this section, there is nothing much to go with that. Few things I want to discuss, but 2 मिनट लेंगे बच्चों, because 139 में हमने बहुत कुछ पढ़ा, बहुत कुछ किया. 2 minutes, उसके बाद शुरू करता हूँ. थोड़ा फ्रेश हो जाओ, मुझे फ्रेश होना पड़ेगा. Can we start now? Section 140. All right. So what is inside this particular section 140? So there are two segments. The first one is resignation, and the second one what we have is the removal and the available formalities. So removal wala part already I have explained, special resolution and central government's approval. But one more formality is also there, that you have to give an opportunity to the auditor to give the representation to the company and the shareholders. Now, what is the representation? It is just like the speech before farewell, before retirement. Ultimately, the decision to remove the auditor, it is in the hands of shareholders. Shareholders are humans. Every human is affected by emotions. Do you agree with that? Every human is affected by the emotions. So what if this opportunity is okay, okay? Do you really think that one small speech can affect a lot? Whether it is a political decision, whether it is voting, the speech made by politician, does it impact? Does it affect? Does it affect the audience or not? Absolutely. So this is just one opportunity is given by law to the auditor, that before this special resolution get passed, you need to represent yourself, that what are you like, whatever you want to say, you are allowed to do this before. It may change the game if it is one of the best emotional speech given to the members. Alright. If this emotional speech is given to the member, excuse me. All right, students. So I'm sorry for the inconvenience. So representation, the students are very much confused. So what is this representation? So representation is nothing but auditor is given an opportunity so that he can go and he can just tell something to the shareholders, and it can be the game changer, isn't it? And I know that what most of the auditors will go and will try to say. They are going there and they will try to say that what are his achievements in this company, what and his team did it, how they did it. So I think they can impress, it can impress the shareholders. Maybe some shareholders can change their minds to vote against the auditor. Do you agree with that? Hello? Now, the point resignation, what do you mean by the point written over here about resignation? Resignation. So, first question is, once any auditor resign that I don't want to continue, I don't want to work. Let's say today, Miss Nimmi, I am the director of the company. Suddenly, she comes on my desk and says, Mr. Chirag, this is enough now. I cannot not handle much more pressure. There are a lot of wrongdoings there. I don't want to continue. This is my resignation. I looked into that, but I said, Miss Nimi, that sorry, ma'am, you cannot leave like this. I don't approve your resignation. Going back to work. Is Nimi an employee of the company? This is how she should be treated. Is she an employee of the company? No, she's the auditor. The term auditor, is it the statutory designation or company's designation? What do you think about it? It is lawful designation. The powers and the designation is not given by the company, but it is given by the law. So guys, the first rule you understand, resignation doesn't require to be accepted by the company. Doesn't require to be accepted by the company. Just one thing is, once any auditor is giving the resignation, auditor shall file one form, and name of that form is ADT3 to the ROC. And while you are doing this, you have to provide the reasons for that, that why you quit. Why you quit. So today ROC is expecting reasons from the auditor, that why did you resign from the company? What were the reasons? ऐसा तो क्या हुआ भाई कि तुझे निकलना पड़ा? All right, is this clear to everyone, guys? So these two concepts are there, and now let me tell you how these two concepts are provided under section 140 of our discussion. So look at the 140. There are total 5 subsections, including the procedures. In the removal, guys, sometimes if the auditor is doing something wrong and company doesn't have that much majority to convince the shareholders and the central government, then sometimes there is another way to remove auditor directly. What is that option? Is you apply to tribunal. If there's order of tribunal, if tribunal passes an order that bhaiya get lost, do you need to get the consent of central government now? Do you need to get the do you need to get the approval of central government now? Answer would be no. Then you don't need it. Okay? Then you don't need it. Is the concept clear? If it's clear, then we can start reading of this. Guys, I want to just confirm to all of you. Is it fine if I read line by line, or should I just explain and I should go ahead? I know many times I have asked this question, but again, because some students are not finding comfortable, तो वो आते हैं चले जाते हैं. So this reduction is just because of that, or this is the best way to go, because this will solve almost all the questions what are possibly to be there in your exam. All right, fine. So guys, quickly I will go. So this part is about the removal. So it is written that auditor appointed shall be removed by way of passing the special resolution and by obtaining the approval of the central government. And now this is the rule, guys, how it will go. So first of all, guys, there will be, you have to apply for the central government's approval from by filing the form number 82, 82, and that will be done within 30 days when the board decides. You tell me, before passing special resolution, who decides first? Board decides first. So once board resolution is passed, within 30 days you have to apply to central government. And guys, you have to conduct the annual general meeting within 60 days. Once the approval is granted from the central government, and you have to complete the process. So guys, pass board resolution, apply to central government. After getting the approval, conduct the general meeting and pass the special resolution. So board to central government 30 days. Central government when gives the approval 60 days. 60 days. So 30, 60. Nothing is mentioned about within how much time the central government will give the approval. We cannot even pressurize the central government stating, hey, bhaiya, please give the approval. It is up to him whether he wants to give, he doesn't. We cannot say anything here. Okay. All right. Further, it is written, provided that before taking any action under this subsection, the auditor concerned shall be given a reasonable opportunity of being heard. So this reasonable opportunity of being heard is nothing but what I can say, the representation. All right. The auditor who has resigned from the company shall file within a period of 30 days from the date of his resignation statement of in the prescribed form with the company. If you click on the prescribed here, let me show you here which form is prescribed. अभी तो definitions खुल गए. It is ADT3. If you want to remember, it is ADT3. And company and register. So you have to give the disclosure to company as well as to registrar why you are resigning this. Just you need to give the statement. You don't need to. This statement not need to get accepted by the company. This paragraph is trying to say about the government company. Guys, if there's a government company's auditor wants to resign, then this statement will be filed with three parties: ROC, company, and CAG. Okay? And guys, this part is the punishment if the auditor does not comply with these provisions of removal or edited 3 is not filed, then this is the penalty to him. This is the penalty to him. Recently, I accepted audit of one company in which the another auditor was auditor and he resigned, but he did not file this form. So we wrote an email that bhai, this is the penalty if you don't do that, complete it. All right. Special notice shall be given, guys. This point I don't want to explain right now because special notice wala part I will teach in the general meeting. Because if you look at special notice, it is the section 145. Sorry, it's not 145. It is section 105. 105. What we are going to learn in the general meeting chapter. All right. And guys, this is just a formality. Simply it says that just a second. This all part we will take care of in general meeting. Just keep it right. Further, it is written that without prejudice to any action under the provisions of this act, tribunal has power suo moto. Suo moto का मतलब क्या होता है ना? Voluntarily, if any application is received from the central government or any other organization to remove or to change the company auditor. All right. So only this much we have to keep in mind, nothing else. All right. I hope guys this provision is clear. Section 140. I hope this provision is clear. Is it clear? All right. After that, we are going to learn one of the most important and the most asked provision 141, that is qualification disqualification. But I think it is large section again, so better we will start tomorrow. Or you want me to start today? कल करें? कल करें? ठीक है? So good luck guys. Thank you very much. You will leave now.